coming to you because you're the prize that's going to make treasures. You're the king, and the treasures are going to come to you because they see that in the future. So what happens is like that's a king. He's going to have a kingdom. So he's developing. So he's going to I'll be like, oh, okay. So the women will come close to you. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be the best quality. They're going to be around comparable to what you are worth. And what happens is you date them. You start dating them, so you start getting experience. But what happens is when you date them, don't get them pregnant and don't commit because that traps you in. So what you want to do is date and keep growing. And what happens is it creates a pressure where the girl has to keep up. If she doesn't keep up, you're going to outgrow them and you get rid of them and you get another one. Because if you're better than you were before and you got her, you're going to do better in getting other girls. Better quality girls are going to be chasing you because you're a better person. If you keep growing and the girls don't keep up, you have to get rid of them to get better ones. So it's kind of like, hey, and you're like, are you going to feel sorry for him? Oh, that's kind of dark or that's not. Remember, if it was the other way around, would she stay? Fuck no. Because what happens is she's only going to be with you of what you produce. If you're a great person and everything, a great person produces stuff by default. So yes, they want to be with you because you're a great person, but a great person doesn't fall in those circumstances. They have trouble here and there, but most girls bounce. And what happens is if she can get somebody that's better than you, eventually she will. But if you keep her, if she's satisfied with you, it's because she doesn't want to work any harder.
Right.
So that's why some people get into relationships and then she falls apart. Why? Because she's got you.
And then going on that too, earlier you made a comment about how like girls in high school and in college, that's kind of like their peak. But the sad thing is that they've developed so many bad habits. Like they eat out a lot, they don't exercise and those types of things. So yeah, that is their prime. But if they have like a man that is growing in everything and she really finds him valuable and she wants to keep up, she's going to forego those bad habits. But if she doesn't want to forego those bad habits, then
Like what is it
that's
going to
when you
lead
know.
to?
Yeah, exactly. Then you're going to know, be like, this girl's not going to keep up. Thank you, next.
Yeah.
As they say.
So what happens, that's why I say if you become valuable, value recognizes value. So when you see a girl, you're really going to judge her on her health decisions and her assets decision. So if she's a girl about all luxuries, see, that's a liability. Buying luxuries is a liability. We all like them, but it's a liability. And what happens is that you're looking at it and she's not making healthy decisions, and she's not working out, she's not eating good. What do you think is going to change her mind? She might look good now, but in the future, she's going to be a lard ass. So it's like, why do you want that? You know that you don't want to do that in the future, but sometimes we're focused on the now. Be like, she looks good now, but you don't want to do a temporary action and commit forever just because she looks now, because that's not how she looks is temporary. Her value is going to go down on her looks. And that's where most girls get their looks. So you want to get a girl that has more than her looks. You want to be an asset. So that's what I'm going to get to eventually. So what happens is you have to start dating and grow, and you start getting rid of them if they don't keep up. Now, sometimes you can find a good girl and she can keep up with you. But what happens is you always have to stay in the lead. Because if she outgrows you, if she works out, she looks better than you, she does this, what is she going to do?
She's going to do the same thing.
She's going to upgrade to somebody else because you're not keeping up. It's, oh, accept me for how I am. It's bullshit. They want women like you for who you're going to be. They want winners.
Right.
That's what they want. They want a winner. So that's how you have to look at it. It's the women's strategy, but now you're applying it to them. And that's what you need to do.
And they won't know what to do. It's going to confuse the hell out of them.
No, they're going to keep up.
Well, they'll keep up if they want to.
If they want to. If they don't keep up, you just got to start looking. So what happened is that you have to keep dating, but you don't lose traction on your health and assets. So what happens is sometimes you get a girl, and what happens is that they give you temptation to get off course.
Sure.
Because if you stay on course, she's going to be like, man, I have to work harder to keep up, which is good for her. Like a real girl that's worth it will keep up. But if she keeps you off course, be like, hey, let's sleep in, don't go to the gym. Red flag. Keep going. She's going to test you. But she might test you and you go and she is even more in love with you. Why? Because not even her can manipulate you.
Right.
So what happens is that...
You respect yourself too much to let her influence you.
Self-love. There it is. So you care about your health and your assets first before the relationship.
Yes.
If you put the relationship before your health and assets, forget it. It just doesn't build a good foundation. Right. So what happens is that she's going to tempt you. She's going to tempt you to do this or do things her way. And what is she going to use? Her sexuality. She's going to use it to leverage it as a negotiation tool to force you to do something else.
She'll try.
And what happens is that's why you start dating these women. So you started getting experience. So what happens is that you want to reward her as an asset and don't give into a liability. So she's mostly using her sex as a negotiation tool. So what happens is she's an asset. That means she makes things where that it conserves and promotes your health. So she does those things instead of, oh, let's eat out. And see, when she goes, let's go eat out, I don't want to cook, I don't want to do this. See, that decreases the
Stay in bed
assets.
with me.
So spends more money. So she's more expensive. She's not really encouraging you to be successful in the assets. Because if she's thinking long game, she's all like, I want to keep this guy. If he spends more money, it's really we spend more money. And what happens is girls buy me flowers. Flowers is a bad investment. It's just a validation prize for her. Like, oh, I'm so valuable. He sacrifices his money. He wastes it to show how much I love you. How romantic. Romantic is just another code word for you're being a loser. And I want you to degrade yourself so I look better. That's basically it. Because it's a sacrifice thing. That's what romantic is. Sacrifice your life so I live. Oh, how romantic. That means you lose, I win, fucker, but I'll make you feel good about it even though you're dead. That's basically it.
That's true.
That's what romance is. It's self-sacrifice. So it's don't be. That's a negotiation tool. Don't fall for it, guys. So that's why girls kind of say, "I love narcissism, guys," and he's so narcissistic, and that's why they break up with him. Like, why? It's because those are the guys that have self-love. And when they say, I'm not going to put up with your shit, they don't want to say, I wasn't good enough to keep up with him. He outgrew me.
No,
Oh, he's a narcissist. Because that's what sounds bad. Oh, he just loved himself too much and he kept growing. He wanted to protect his assets and his health is more important. And he didn't put me in front of them and he dumped me.
Yeah. Oh, how horrible. No, women will be like, oh, he was toxic. He was too controlling. He was demanding. It was too much. Always the victim.
Like my girl knows that I put health and assets before her.
And that's the way it should be. Because our future, if he didn't, then guess what my future is going to look like? I'd be like, well, what? When we're in our 70s or 80s, am I going to be cleaning you? Am I have to wipe you? Or like, if you're not taking care of yourself, then that's going to be a burden.
I don't want to be a burden, right?
I'm like, that's going to be a burden to me. I mean, that's like a shitty truth or a harsh truth, but it's the truth. And the same goes for me. I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to increase the chances of something happening to me in the future that is going to make you have to take care of me. Like, I don't want that.
I just don't want a time bomb. And I don't want to be a time bomb either.
Yeah, so you have to
So
put
if
your
I
health
protect
and assets
myself,
first.
you got to keep going. And that's what women are really attracted. That's what makes them stay because this guy's going places. He's like a winning lottery ticket. So what happens is the rules that you have to do with dating, you keep dating. And it's fun because you keep dating girls, you keep upgrading. And what happens is that you're practicing. You're seeing how girls are. You're going to get some bad ones. You're going to get some good ones. You're going to get some not so good ones and this and that and forth. And then what happens is that you start to see what's really important. Because when you get a lot of variety of girls, you start having a lot of sex with a bunch of them. And what happens is that the sex is not going to be as powerful to use against you. Because after you, with a girl, you sleep with her like 100 times, you're like, after a while, it's like no matter what new car you have, you get used to it. So they don't have that power over you. So that clears the fogginess of your vision and you realize what's important. And what's important is those habits that she has for the future. Are they going to be an asset or a liability to your plan? So that's why I recommend that don't live with the girls. You have to live